This is Rebecca Williams with the Living in East Texas team and Leslie Kane Realty. I am going to show you guys a map video today and talk about East Texas as a whole, and then I will highlight a few different towns and cities in the area that I service for both real estate, but also to help you understand a little bit more about the area. Today, our focus will be on Hideaway, Texas, which is basically where I live and an area that I absolutely love living. And you can see that Hideaway just sits slightly to the east of Lindale. We are within Lindale School District and just north of Tyler, Texas. So depending on which part of Tyler you are visiting, it may take you anywhere from 20 minutes to 30 minutes to 45 minutes, obviously depending on where you are going inside Tyler. However, in the last few years, we have a toll road now that runs from Interstate 20 south of Hideaway and Lindale and goes all the way around to 110, which is South Tyler. Obviously, it's a toll road. However, I use it quite frequently. It is generally the fastest way in my profession for me to get to point A, from point A to point B in the Tyler area. And you can hit pretty much anything you want to get to inside Tyler from this loop. Now, Tyler, or toll road, they call it Loop Toll 49. There's also Loop 323 that actually goes all around Tyler, and it is around 26 miles long. And this is a loop that Tyler was basically kind of built around this loop. Highway 69 runs from the northern side of Tyler all the way to the south side of Tyler and splits it into two hemispheres for basically the west and the east south parts of Tyler. Highway 31 also splits Tyler in half between the northern and southern hemispheres. So just north of Tyler, again, and depending on what part of Tyler you're going to be visiting, is Lindale, Texas and Hideaway, Texas. And like I said, Hideaway is where I live, and it is also a part of Lindale School District. Hideaway is where we are going to zoom in today to see this awesome community that I call home. So Hideaway encompasses 10 square miles of land. So Hideaway Lake, Texas, basically called Hideaway, Texas, is a city that sits here just north of Interstate 20. We are 10 to 15 minutes to the east of Van and 5 minutes from Lindale, 10 minutes to Lindale, just depending on where you are going to be going. So Hideaway is a gated community with a northern and southern entrance. So the northern gate is located here, and what is considered the front of Hideaway Gate is in this area here. So if you live inside of Hideaway, you can just drive through and the people at the guard station will just smile and wave and sometimes speak and say hello, of course. If you're a guest, you would stop at either of the security gates, give your name, say who called you in, what are you doing in the area. Sometimes you have to show your identification, so be prepared for that. To get inside of Hideaway, you either need to be with a member coming to visit a member and or with a real estate agent. Hideaway has 3 smaller lakes. This southernmost lake is the fishing lake. The middle lake is the biggest and the largest, and then there's a northern lake. So around this location here, there is an actual dam, and then there is also a bridge that I've filmed multiple videos in that area, or driven my vehicle or my bicycle across this bridge here that separate the northern and the middle lakes. The middle lake is the largest. The smaller fishing lake is a no-wake lake, and these have various water sports. You are allowed to have a boat on the water. You are allowed to ski. You are allowed to wake surf. As the lakes are small, and so as far as creating a huge wake, there are no wave runners or jet skis allowed on these lakes, or speedboats. I like this terrain map just to give you an idea that there are hills and valleys, and some houses are deep down in valleys, and some are on a steep they have a steep driveway, or they're on a hill. So any property that someone might be interested in the Hideaway area, it's always good to figure out where it sits before you get too excited about a property, because if you do not want to live on a hill or down a hill or with a smaller lot, the lots they're not uniform here. So some people have purchased over time, some people have purchased multiple lots, and so they may turn that into just one lot through the HOA approval process. So most of the golf courses you can see are going to sit in the area where this green is located. So I'm going to switch over to the satellite map because it is much easier to see the golf courses. Zooming in here to the map somewhat, you can see that there are 27 holes of golf. We have the east, central, and west courses. So depending on where you book your tee time, they'll tell you where to go. In this area, and this is where the clubhouse is located. The pro shop is here, so that's where you would go and sign up and pay your fees and be able to play on the course. And over in this area, there is a practice putting green, and then there's also a driving range here. So you can also just go and practice those things if you aren't going to play a round of golf. Hideaway has their own golf carts that you would rent, and if you are a member, you can walk the course for free. So Google will put this nice outline here of Hideaway's perimeter. As we zoom in, I wanted to highlight a couple of the parks that we do have inside of Hideaway. Bruce Park, which is on the northern end, has soccer goals for some children to play soccer. There are pickleball courts and a small park in this northwest side. We have Frontier Park, which is the largest of the parks here in Hideaway. Frontier Park is located close to the Hideaway pool. Hideaway also has a historical marker here in the Hubbard Cemetery, which does lie inside the gate, and volunteer organizations within the community help take care and preserve this historical site. Located in this area here is the Hideaway Community Church, so we do actually have a church inside of the Hideaway community. If you are a Hideaway resident, you can use some of the buildings here for free. However, of course, you would have to schedule it in advance and make sure that there's not something going on there. But there is a lodge building. I'm going to zoom in closer, but I want to show you the locations first. There's a lodge located at the swimming pool it's actually got the best views. It is usually the most popular and difficult to schedule area. There is actually a first and a second floor with multiple smaller rooms and then larger meeting and gathering rooms. And there's a deck that overlooks the water here as well, and you can check that out in some of my other videos. I have multiple videos about Hideaway that will show you those. There's a building here at the marina. We used this when we had a 50th birthday party for him. We've used that building, and then we are also using that for our family Christmas this year because we've grown so big. Having the space to have all the kids and grandkids and great grandkids and everyone together, we're going to go ahead and use the facility because I happen to have myself and some other family members that all live here inside Hideaway. The other building that can be used sometimes is the clubhouse, and that is obviously the most used. There are banquets and weddings and different events that are always going on there. So the office for Hideaway, if you're going to use those buildings, you call this office, and this is also where you would fill out your application or turn in your application to become a member of Hideaway Lake. And again, this southern entrance that's closest to the interstate would be considered the front entrance, and so the Hideaway offices sit here, so you can actually access that whether you're inside or outside of the gates. Hideaway's roads can be quite confusing until you get your bearings on where you are. As you can see, a lot of curvy roads because the roads were originally designed to travel around the lakes and then extended out from there. As you can see here, this is the building for the lodge, and this area here is the Junior Olympic size swimming pool with lifeguards on duty in the summertime. This adult pool is open to adults only, and it is open more year round, and there is no lifeguard on duty there. It's a small little shallow pool for adults to hang out. There are buoys that mark this specific area near the beach for swimming, and there's also a sandy beach here with a volleyball net. Right across from the marina, there is RV hookups. So if you live here or if your family member lives here and you happen to have an RV, you can actually come and stay and hook up in this area and stay for a short-term basis. There's also a bark park, so there is an area for dogs to play as well. As far as shopping goes for Hideaway, there is a small convenience store just outside of the front gate and Collins Street Bakery. There's a Subway, so there's multiple places to grab a little bite to eat. There's a pharmacy, there's a doctor's office, there's a little gym here, several banks, and a veterinary clinic. A good portion of your conveniences are going to be located in the Lindale area, which is the closest place to go. However, you're just a hop, skip, and a jump from Van, Tyler, and Mineola. So Highway 69 is the main corridor that runs between Lindale and north to Mineola and then south into Tyler and then beyond. Toll 49 Road runs from just north of Lindale, hits Highway 69, and runs basically between Lindale and Hideaway, south of the interstate, and on beyond to Highway 110 in South Tyler. There are 3 intersections between Hideaway and Lindale of the Toll 49 Road. One on the south end is where it intersects with Interstate 20. One on the north end of Hideaway, and between Hideaway and Lindale, downtown Lindale, is Farm to Market or FM 16. There's an intersection here. So this distance to get into Lindale is less than 10 minutes, and it is about 10 or 15 minutes to go north into Mineola, Texas. Hideaway Lake, Texas has an excellent location if you need to commute, travel to the airport, or any other needs that you might need from Interstate 20, which is an east-west corridor that runs all the way across Texas into Mississippi and further east. If you are going to be traveling from either DFW or Love Field, the 2 major airports in Dallas. If you need to travel to Dallas either for shopping, to visit friends, some of the residents in Hideaway have a home in both the DFW area and Hideaway as a weekender, or the opposite. Jumping on the interstate here and traveling west, you can be to downtown Dallas. So remembering that Hideaway is just next to Lindale, next to the interstate, this distance here to Dallas, downtown Dallas, like I said, hour and 20 minutes or more depending on traffic and time of day. You can also get to Shreveport, Louisiana in about the same amount of time, an hour and a half to the east. You can be in Shreveport. The proximity between Dallas and Shreveport running along the corridor makes this entire area, Tyler, all the surrounding communities, a great place to live. We see a lot of migration from the DFW area. People sometimes retire to this area, or they decide that they do not want to live in the Metroplex anymore, so they will move here to East Texas. You still have the convenience to be in Dallas in less than 2 hours from most of the areas surrounding Tyler. Longview, Texas is the second largest city in the East Texas area, and Longview is a 30 to 35 minute drive from where I live in Hideaway.